Hey everyone, welcome to Wednesday at noon in the midweek challenge. I'm glad you're with me and I hope you are enjoying that bacon double cheeseburger. Man, I could use one of those right now. Now, you know the best sign of a bacon double cheeseburger is if you can taste it like an hour after you've eaten it. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Those are great. Now, the word I want to give you today is pastor. And I hadn't planned on talking about this, but it just kind of continued to just move in my heart today. So I wanted to talk about this subject very briefly. You can read about it more in a book I wrote, but right now I just want you to think about that because so many word pictures come to mind when you think about pastor. And obviously there are all kinds of jokes. Hey, I'd like to have your job. You only work 1 hour a week. But what's funny when you look at the Bible, there are occasions when people joked about people in ministry and they got it bad. In particular, I'm thinking about 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 23, where there's this prophet named Elisha. And Elisha went out, and there were these young men. The text tells us it was over 40 guys, and they were making fun of Elisha. And God sent 2 bears, and they went out and they mauled those guys to death. You don't mess with God's prophets. But I want to think about pastors because it's a hard job, more so today than what it was years ago. So there are 3 challenges I want to give you, 3 words. For the pastor in your life. And maybe you're not even a Christian, but you know that there are pastors in your community that are helping people, and that's a good thing. So here's the first one, to pray. Pray for the pastor in your life. And think about it this way. We're always going to people in ministry. Hey, would you pray for me? Hey, would you pray for this? Hey, I need some advice on this. But how many people are going to them and praying for them? So what can you do for the next 7 days to specifically pray for the pastor in your life, for their needs, for their family, for protection, for wisdom? Just pray for your pastor on a regular basis next 7 days. Here's the second one. The word is pay. Now, I want you to understand this word means more than just finance. It means support. But even financially, Paul was really clear in 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 18, where he said the worker is worth his wage, and pastors work just nonstop. And a lot of times we hear these stories of these, mega church pastors making the big bucks and things like that. But that's not reality. The vast majority of pastors in America, in the West, make on average, about what a public school teacher makes, a little bit less or a little bit more, but that's about it. And they have 4 years of college and then many times a seminary degree on top of that, and they're doing all kinds of things. And what can you do, not just to pay, but to support with your energy, with your time, with your resources to support this guy, this gal who's in full-time ministry, who's always helping others? Here's your third word. It's obey. Now, we're not talking about blind obedience here, but the author of Hebrews is really clear in Hebrews chapter 13, verse 17, that we are to obey our leaders as those who have to give an account to God. I mean, even think about that last part. Pastors have to give an account to God on what they did. And we make their lives so much easier if we just follow their lead. I mean, let me ask you this. Did you go to Bible college? Did you go to seminary? Are you wrestling with full-time ministry on a daily basis? Then what are you griping about? So let me encourage you to just look at these pastors like you would a doctor. This doctor's been to medical school. They probably know what they're talking about. So with the pastor, don't just call them pastor, follow them. So that's what I want to challenge you with today. To think about the pastors in your life and to reach out, even if you're not physically going to do that, but somehow to pray, to pay, and obey, to encourage them in their job. So as always, like and follow the Kingdomology blog, the Kingdomology Facebook page, the YouTube, whatever. Be strong, and I'll see you again next week.